Hello everyone, delonewolf here, and today I'm happy that I can bring you guys an after report of another live event in Evaulon. This one is about the destruction of Rilneus, a city in the system of Evaulon on planet 7. Now before I get started, maybe I'll quickly cover what happened before this live event. Around 2 weeks ago we had a small event in the system of Evaulon where basically the Serpentis were trying to force the city of Rilneus to make a deal with them for the Osiris puppies, which is what most of these live events seem to be centered around. And after being persuaded by capsuleers, role-playing capsuleers, not to take the deal with the Serpentis, these vowed that they would come back with military force and burn the city to the ground. Now, for 2 weeks, the Galente Federation had sent some patrols over there to try and find the Serpentis that made this threat, but after 2 weeks they claim not to have found anything and they left, and the Serpentis took this opportunity to make their move, and so they decided that yesterday was the time to attack Rilneus and get their goodies. Now, co-incorporated, we had 2 battleships in the system, and it became clear very soon that the Serpentis would try and raise the city. They had 3 Moros, 3 Thanatos and 6 Vindicators with some loyalist capsuleers out there. So at that time basically the 2 battleships of Co-Incorporated were the only forces in system available to do anything. We knew it was a suicide mission, but we were amongst those capsuleers that had given our words that we would help Rilneus against the Serpentis, so we were honor bound to act at that point. We tried to coordinate our efforts with an F-Court member that was also in local to try and create a diversion, giving him perhaps an opportunity to land some ground forces of his own, and most importantly to us, to try and buy the people of Rilneus a few precious seconds to get to their shelters before the orbital bombardment would start. So we engaged that overwhelming Serpentis force with just 2 battleships. Our crews performed exemplary, and I would like to take the opportunity to honor them for their sacrifice in our attempt to honor a vow which we made to the people of Rilneus. We were destroyed in short order. Enough with that role-playing stuff, but that's how we played this live event as Co-Incorporated. We were in there pretty early, we decided to sacrifice our 2 battleships, the Dominix and a Megatron, for some RP points, just to try and keep things moving along while other people were amassing their fleets to try and do something about that pretty impressive force of 3 Moros, 3 Thanatos and 6 Vindicators. That's not something we would have had any chance against, so we just decided to go the honorable route on this one. So after we did our part, I did come back in a cloaked Nemesis in order to try and capture some footage, and I think for the rest of the report I'm going to make use of some of the written reports that are already out on the rest of the event, and I'll start with the report I got in the F-Court mailing list from Nina Vask, who is the CEO of the Sinenose Accord, and he writes, "As I write this out, I am sitting about 300 kilometers from the battle zone, high above the city of Rilneus on Evaulon 7. Well, more accurately, I'm sitting high above a glass landscape. The Serpentis attack that was threatened 2 weeks ago was carried out today with disastrous results. The attack began at 1941 New Eden Standard Time with the invasion of the city by Serpentis ground forces, being headed by Lonette Villy, along with joint assistance from Angel Cartel shock troops. At first there was no defense and the Serpentis acted with complete impunity in the attack, which, except of course by the 2 stupid Co-Incorporated battleships that went in there and got destroyed in under a minute. Eventually a band of capsuleers under the corporation Snuffbox arrived, and this was a pretty impressive fleet of, Macarials with logistic support. Now the Snuffbox are a local capsuleer pirate organization who apparently at first were willing to engage the Serpentis. However, that was not to last, as once the Serpentis support fleet, so those capsuleers that were loyal there and were trying to help them, were destroyed, they turned on any other capsuleer Capsuleers present on grid. So yeah, we had this pretty big Macarial fleet from Snuffbox that came in. At first they tried to engage the Serpentis forces, and especially the Capsuleers, the other players that were trying to help them. But of course, with 3 remote repping Thanatos in there, it's very hard to kill any of the Vindicators or of the Moroses. So they decided to go for any other players that came in. Throughout the course of the battle, a number of large alliances and corporations appeared, either to fight Serpentis or one another. Either way, the battle quickly turned into chaos, as everything from a local gate camp fleet of frigates and destroyers to an Evoke frigate fleet arrived and began killing anything on grid, be it Serpentis, defenders or neutrals who happened to drop by. So yeah, I counted also indeed a frigate fleet from Evoke, some Tengus from Shadow Cartel, and a mixed fleet from Fatal Ascension that actually got a Thanatos kill a bit later in this report. I think it's covered as well. Throughout all this, the Serpentis were making coordinated strikes against the planet's surface. Specifically, they targeted Rilneus as they conducted operations in the removal of the Isirus poppy from the combined harvest facilities. At 2037, they achieved success as Serpentis commander Lonette Villy reported 100% extraction of all Isirus poppy in the area of operation, as well as successful extraction of all Serpentis personnel. And to make a point, the Serpentis then chose to orbitally bombard Rilneus to turn the city completely to dust by approximately 2109, so the entire event took around 1.5 hours. They had succeeded in glassing the entire city limits. Currently, casualty reports from the ground are unknown but expected to be total. Of course, we hope not. We hope that we manage to buy a little time for a few people to get to some shelters, but it's very unlikely. During this time, however, a single Serpentis Thanatos was destroyed by one of the several fleets still present and warring on the battlefield, and I think that was the Fatal Ascension fleet that got that kill, but it was a negligible loss, as when the Serpentis chose to leave, their ships were ordered to self-destruct by the pilots. So even at the end, that entire force of 6 capitals doesn't really mean a lot to the Serpentis, since at the end of the event they simply self-destructed. So that was the written report from the F-Cord mailing list. If you play EVE Online and you want to get these reports yourself, you can always simply join the F-Cord mailing list in the in-game mail application. And another written report that I found is a news article posted by CCP Falcon on the EVE Online website itself. I'll quickly go over that one, maybe not in as much detail as it basically covers the same thing. But the city of Rilneus lies in ruin this morning after a surprise attack by Serpentis Corporation late last night, close to the equator of Evaulon 7. The city was well known in the Federation for its astonishing growth over the last 2 decades, due to its close proximity to a highly profitable agricultural installation owned and operated by Combined Harvest, Serpentis and Guardian Angel forces, along with a contingent of Capsuleers from known Serpentis loyalist organization, the Corelli Corporation, returned last night in a second bid to seize the city's supply of immensely valuable Isirus poppy. A pitched 2-hour battle in orbit of Evaulon 7 ensued, with dozens of ship losses reportedly sustained by pilots who came to the aid of local citizens. Before all but one of the Serpentis vessels were destroyed. That's actually not true, most of them self-destructed. Capsuleer defense forces were, however, unable to prevent the aggressors from extracting the Isirus harvest and laying waste to the city with a series of over 20 tactical strikes reported from orbit. So yeah, that's basically the event in a nutshell. And the CCP guys came with a pretty impressive fleet, probably the largest dev flown fleet in a story-related live event, at least in the years that I've played. If this feels like the largest event, it's a bit unfortunate that we couldn't see the Moroses fire on the planet yet. That would have been very cool, and I hope that Dust 514 integration might make that possible at one point. But for now, story-wise, all we can really say is, like has been stated here, that the Serpentis got their hands on a very large amount of this Isirus poppy. which is supposedly used for Minmatar religious ceremonies, but really, why is it that valuable? I think there's more behind it. We'll have to wait and see how the live events develop. And in the meantime, on the forums there is a Sancha role-playing character that is trying to sow some more discord in the Capsuleers and in the Four Empires role-playing wise. So that's sparking quite a few debates in there as well. It's nice to see. I feel this live event, not everybody was very happy with it. I saw a few complaints in local. It's true that this one was probably mostly for the big boys. They probably expected that they would get a hot drop at some point, which didn't really manifest. But I personally found this event to be absolutely awesome. Seeing an Evoke frigate fleet, they brought like 30, 40, maybe 50 frigates in there to fight those 6 capitals. That was really pretty awesome. And then after that we had this mixed fleet from Fatal Ascension that really came in close. They flew right in between all those capital ships trying to destroy those, and they actually got one Thanatos, which was pretty awesome. I was just too late to record the explosion, however. But yeah, overall, just another very nice live event in my opinion, and I hope we'll see more soon, and I will see you all next time.